Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. It's That's Cool Drink. Guys, it's going to be awesome. I got Carroll on tonight. Eric and I have become pretty decent friends throughout the last handful of race weeks. Pretty much started with me just making fun of his cars. And then we played some pool. When I say we played pool, I mean he played pool and we drank. And we had a great time. And what better way to meet dudes to hang out with than on Drag and Drive? So Eric's on tonight. We're gonna have a blast. We're gonna make fun of him a little bit. He's gonna give it back. It's gonna be a blast. Like I said, it's gonna be cool, man. So, dude, what can I say? I've had an absolute crazy last couple of weeks. Started off at Texas versus the World. Absolutely insane. Air cooled and liquid cooled Volkswagens. Porsches were allowed to go there. I don't think there were any, but there was a Neil in the house. They had an air cooled Volkswagen Beetle powered dragster. It's like a little mini, like junior comp dragster, and it was totally gangster. The other good part about that is that tons and tons and tons of those bug dudes are stick shift dudes as well, which is right up my alley. And we got Eric tonight, and he's a stick shift dude too. And we're going to talk about that too. So it's going to be sweet. Devin Nuanas, dude, thank you so much for chopping in here. Check them out. We're my reigning Rookie of the Year champions. They gave that up here at 2.0. They got the Honderado. Check them out on Nursing Garage. Yeah, dude. And check out when they drop that Copilot Kyle video because he got smoked. I'm here to tell you. Man, your father-in-law's on here, so that's cool. Drink. Dude, so Texas versus the World was absolutely insane, off the chain. Clint Cox puts on a hell of a show. That was super cool. They had kids in Power Wheels, gangster, super cool. Race week, off the chain. Eric, the reason I've got him on, dude, runner up in the 13.0 class with his Lexus GS-F that I was calling a Corolla all week. And yeah, dude, that was super cool. He was in the lead for a bunch of it. Very, very cool. And I'm going to have him on. But race week was off the chain. It was crazy. It was hot. It was humid. Dude, Louisiana sprays for mosquitoes in the middle of a race. Who knew? That was wild. And this is my most, I told you guys, it's nuts. I'm going nuts. This weekend, I am at Bowling Green, Kentucky. I am doing the NMRA World Finals, the Holly Ford Experience. It's going to be absolutely crazy. The largest Bigfoot that they've ever built, Bigfoot 5, is going to be there. You see it in the picture there. Jet karts, drifting, tons and tons of drag racing. They've got a class called Coyote Stock that is gangster as hell. It's sealed Coyote motors with sealed ECUs, and they have to run a diaphragm street-style clutch in those cars. So it's wheelies. It's absolutely awesome. It's going to be absolutely cool. There's Clint in the house, dude. Neil Sabo off the chain, drink, absolutely. And that thing is a Camry, apparently, according to Mr. Daniels. And yes, Louisiana was a violent type of hot. It was everywhere you went. It was breathing like muggy swamp. It was crazy. And Eric's from Louisiana, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But you have to chew your air before you breathe it. That's a thing. You know, it's wild. So crazy. And then the next week after the NMRA World Finals, I'm at FL2K. I'm going to be working with Freedom Plus. That is going to be absolutely crazy as well. I'll be doing pit interviews. Dude, FL2K October kind of kicks off their racing season. Hopefully the hurricane that's rolling along out there right now rolls through in time for us to make that race happen. But guys, it's going to be absolutely cool. Lots and lots and lots of cool stuff coming up soon. There's Vince Rui. It is unfit for human habitation. Agreed, 100%. That place is crazy. But Tonight, Eric Carroll, fresh off his runner-up victory or runner-up performance, I guess. Ooh, the Jackwagon Nova's on. That is cool, sir. You drink. Yeah, dude. Absolutely had a blast out there. Eric was in the lead for a bunch of that. He was duking it out with my buddy Ernie Raile, and talk about a battle of two different cars, and we'll talk about it. But a 47 or 48 Chevy and a 2014 Lexus Camry. But it's actually kind of cool. It's a naturally aspirated V8. It's actually he'll give it justice. Like it's actually a pretty neat and rare car. But that said, here we go. We are getting it kicked off. And no, that wasn't my first time in Louisiana. I went for JRTC at Fort Polk, which is now called something else because the liberals got their way with some things. And I left like a day before Hurricane Katrina hit and went straight to Iraq right after. So that said, let's get it kicked off. That's Cool Drink, Tuesday night. Eric Carroll, baby. Let's go. Eric Carroll.
What's up?
Dude. Race week, runner up in the 13-0 class, joins us tonight, and I know what you're drinking because you gave me one at the awards ceremony.
Yeah.
And it's this. And I'm here to tell you, Dr. Pepper and Crown Royal Blackberry. That's a dangerous combination. And I mean, you didn't make me like a really, really strong one out there, but dude, tasty as hell. And I was kind of passing it around, and people were like, "I thought of this." Yeah, dude. Welcome to That's Cool Drink. Thanks for joining us. And I know you were telling us kind of in the back, or me in the background, that you're an avid That's Cool Drink guy. So
yeah,
it's kind of cool to have have one of the homies out here in front of the camera and telling the story about the thing. But dude, welcome.
Thank you.
Talk to us about race week, man. How was it? I know just give us the kind of the 1 minute spiel on the thing. I know you were in the lead for a bunch of it, and you guys were really duking it back and forth, and it was close, like for a whole bunch of that week. And I think he just barely popped ahead in day 4. But yeah. Walk through your trip.
Well, I had just wrapped up King of the Open Road last month and finished second in that also, and lost it myself. Red lit myself. So I just kind of was like ready for race week. I was determined I was gonna do something, and yeah. And it was very close between me and Ernie and Martin in the Mustang.
Oh yeah. Martin Ranker with the Mustang. Yeah, he's always a force to be reckoned with. That dude has a Wally on his shelf from from doing this. So all three of them cats, or both of them cats have won before. So yeah, dude, you're in rarefied air up there.
Yeah, it was tough. The car was running pretty good. The air really affects how well that thing runs.
Being naturally aspirated, that's part of the thing. Real quick, let's jump into it. Talk to us about the Thundercloud. This is, so if you guys don't know, Claudia, his daughter, who's the cutest thing on the planet, has named his cars, much to his chagrin. He's accepted the names at this point. I think you at least you like it enough that you call them that to me. But the Thunderclouds, that thing's different. Like, it's a cool, like, rare thing. Tell us about it real quick, and we'll jump back in it.
Yeah, they only made those for like 5 years, and in that 5 years, they made less than 2,500 in the U.S. And it's 5 liter naturally aspirated V8, makes like 467 horsepower with an 8-speed auto, and it's really kind of set up for track racing, track driving, and stuff. But it does drag racing good too.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, it's faster than one would think. I mean, it was,
Yeah,
all over the 13.0. It ran a bunch of high 12s while you were sort of
yeah.
getting the thing kind of reeled in. Do you know what it runs like full out? Like, what's the quickest it's ever gone?
The quickest it's ever gone was in Noble at Thunder Valley, and it was just like freakishly good weather. It was King of the Open Road in November.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
if it was
So it's like
last year
mine
or the year
shaft type
before.
stuff.
Yeah, and it ran a 12.5,
Nice.
which is pretty good for a
And
4,000
that's,
pound car.
well, and that's like on street tires. Like, that's just
Yeah.
how you drive it down the road. Like, there's
Yep.
nothing. And again, being naturally aspirated, it's not like you're turning it up or nothing. Like, that's the power it makes. So it's
That's
a
it.
1250 street car, car on street tires. That's pretty solid, too. And I mean, again, mine shaft air and stuff. But even if you're talking a 13.0 on street tires, naturally aspirated ride, that's styling. That's a quick ride.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's kind of flies under the radar. It doesn't look it. It doesn't look the
I
part.
mean, it looks like a Camry
Yeah, I mean,
for crying
sort
out
of.
loud. No, I mean, obviously it doesn't. It looks like a fucking weapon driving down the road. But to the to the layman, it
Yeah,
doesn't look like anything different than a normal just Lexus you'd see,
right,
whatever you driving down the road. But
right.
um, but anyway, so yeah, so it's like you bring a competitive car to a class that is going to be competitive, and yeah, dude, like you were in the lead for even a couple of days.
Yeah, for the 2 days, I was in first, and then going into the last day, I just couldn't get it dialed in. My first pass was like a 1297 or something like that, and then I used my fast pass, came right back around, and ran a 1299.7,
I remember that.
and I was, oh,
You shouldn't
I
have
was a
gone to the
little upset.
bathroom first.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah.
No, you shouldn't have.
Oh, shouldn't have. Yeah.
You shouldn't have. You weighed just that much more, and it might have done it. If you're just watching, if you're just tuning in, and you don't know what he's talking about, index racing, aiming for a number. Typically, like bracket racing, you put a number on the window and you aim for that. In index racing, we say everyone run 13.0. And there's, this year 13.0 was a small class actually,
It was.
which was really really strange. Like normally the 14.0 class is the largest. Dude, the 11.0 class was the largest this year by like 3 cars,
Dang.
um, which is crazy. But there were like 10 cars in 13.0.
Yeah. I was
Um,
really surprised.
Totally. And
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of ups your game right there because those classes get really, really, really tight. Oh, 01, 02, 03 is pretty much first, second, and third typically.
Yep.
So, a thousandth of a second means everything. And if you go under that time, it's like the price is right. If you guess the price, but you go over, you lose. You can turn it in, you're still in, but it's worth a 20-second time slip. You're done. You're basically your week at that point is just going to go have fun
Yeah.
because you're now out of competition. It's just not going to happen. So when he
That's
runs
like,
that much quicker, and 1297 with a 7 is 3 thousandths of a second from perfect, and you're talking all the things that happen in a car in reaction in shifting the thing and moving the thing, and even the timing system at that point makes a difference, from track to track to track. And then you're talking different elevations, different track prep, as you work through all this stuff. And index racing is hard as hell.
it
And
is.
especially for a dude that, has, a street car that you're bringing out to a street car race. And it's like, dude, street car. Yeah, there's a lot of elements involved with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so in the lead for a couple of days, and then dude, here comes Ernie.
Ernie's tough.
Dude, Ernie's a gangster,
It
and
was
I got to
Martin.
tell you, I've raced with Ernie since I was 16 years old. and that dude's always been good. I'm
Yeah.
45 now. So that'll give you, in 29 years, that dude has always been good.
Yeah.
So there's no shame losing to that cat because
Not at
that
all.
dude has, I mean, hardware.
Yeah.
And that dude's no joke. And I'm gonna have him on sometime. But the story about his car is awesome. I'll
Yes.
tell it really really quick, but
Yeah.
because this isn't the Ernie Raile That's Cool Drink. This is the Eric Carroll That's Cool Drink. But he beat you, so he does get a minute of mention here
Sure. Yeah.
on your show. But his 48 Chevy is a car that he and his buddy built, and the car was intended for both of them to drive to Bonneville Salt Flats from the Denver area. Not to compete at the Salt Flats with, but to get there and watch it, and or crew or whatever. So it was initially set up with a Cadillac 500 engine, turbo 400, and it had a 250 rear gear. And he claims that it would run 160 miles an hour and still get 15 miles a gallon.
Wow.
Which a Cadillac 500 revs like a diesel. They're like 3,500 RPM, and you're done. It's blowing up at that point. So it's got to have low gears. It's currently, he switched it up a little bit, but he races that and he drives that, and he does it all in memory of his buddy that they built that car with, and his buddy died. And
Right.
so he has as much fun in that car as he possibly can. And he kind of, he's like, I kind of always have him around me with it. Currently, Big Block Chevrolet 4080. I think he's got a little spicier gear in it now as well to help with that out. But yeah, Ernie's such a good dude. Totally. He and the Thorpes, same deal. We've been racing forever with them cats. But anyway, I'm going to have him on someday. And again, he got a minute of your show because you didn't take home money.
Yeah, he earned it.
But that said, dude, so you came in second. You did mention earlier you did King of the Open Road. You came in second in that as well.
Yeah.
That was with the Baboon though, right?
No,
No,
this
that
last
was
one
also
was with a
with the
thundercloud.
Thundercloud.
All of these are from. I've only won anything with the thundercloud.
Well, yeah, but you keep running that stick shift car in the stick shift class,
and yeah, I've got a
dudes
lot
like
of work.
dudes like Guido and Armstrong keep showing up. Dude, you're racing for third. It's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But then a dude like Hogan brings out his truck.
That
Dude,
truck was serious.
Gangster. That truck is badass.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch, go watch because that truck is absolutely gangster. But
That was nice.
so
you don't see a lot of stick trucks racing.
You don't, and the fastest stick shift ride in the country right now, period, is a truck. It's an S10.
Yeah.
It's a mini truck, but a full size truck, dude, they're rare. I mean, shoot, Corey Dunham had one out a couple of years ago. It was a Silverado, like new school GMT 800 truck, and it had a stick in it, and that was a cool truck and whatnot. But it was like an 11-second truck. Like, dude, this dude ran in the eights, and I'm not kicking on 11-second trucks. Don't get me wrong.
That's a quick truck.
That stuff's quick. I mean, my crap runs 11s if I'm lucky on a good day with a tailwind. That dude, I mean, that crap ran eights a lot. And it's an OBS truck. It's a step side. And he thrashed on that junk, and he was a rookie. And he already said, like, I don't know if I'm going to bring it back yet or not. I got work. And I was like, dude, you quit. You found a job. You were looking for a job when you found that one. Bring that crap back on Mega Week. Because
heck yeah.
Yeah. And Stevie in with the dad jokes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raul, dude, I think I'm in. Raul's the dude behind SGMP. He's the owner of the South Georgia Motorsports Park, and he is doing some awesome stuff. He's got the deal on Freedom Plus as well with the turnaround of that racetrack. Dude, thanks so much for tuning in, Raul. Dude, that's awesome. I will definitely see you on Sick Week, and I'm going to throw a camera in your face again, and we're going to talk about it. But dude, how about the owner of SGMP watching That's Cool Drink? That's cool.
Hey, yeah, that's cool.
Drink. Mm-hmm. They are doing some cool shit down there, though. Big ups to SGMP. That place has got so much history, and if you've never been, make a plan. to get down there and go check it out. Even if you're just checking out a race, Ducks races are down there doing the thing. Obviously, Sick Week is starting and finishing at SGMP. Sorry, going off on tangents, but I'm a little starstruck, dude. Like, it happens. Yeah, Jesse Hazlitt says you've made it. That's it, dude. I'm done. I can just close this thing down. I think we this will be my last episode. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start charging for these interviews. You're my last free one. So if you want to be on, have my people talk to your people, inquire with them. Maybe I'll have Raul on. I think maybe slide in them DMs. Let's do something before Sick Week kicks off. I would love to have Raul on. Anyway, he stole many years too because he's Raul. So I'm sorry. Is what it is. But dude, thank you guys so much for tuning in, checking out Eric Carroll. We're talking about his runner-up, pretty much all his runner-ups. But you put on
there you go.
Oh, lock that in. Oh yes. Let's talk before Sick Week. I can't wait. You put on a crown at some point as well over at King of the Open Road, didn't you? Or was that a stolen crown?
No, I sat in the chair and took a picture on this most recent win for second place.
Oh yeah, well second's second's good enough.
Yeah, I didn't get the crown though.
I love talking to dudes about King of the Open Road. Everyone that does it loves it.
Yeah, it's fun.
What do you think, dude? Is that an absolutely awesome event?
It is. It's really cool. I like it. I like that it's a kind of a short deal, so you don't have to take off quite as much time away from work. It's like a Friday and over the weekend type deal.
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm looking. Stuart Clifton said he needs to sign my shirt. I swear he signed this.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm listening.
Yeah, and it's just a cool deal. His drives are neat. His checkpoints, he's real into Oklahoma history and stuff. And
it's up here, Stuart. Stuart Clifton. Anyway, no, I get it. The short things are great. It saves a little money. It's easier to bring your kid on. It's a good way to kind of dip your feet into a drag and drive if you're not totally sold on the deal.
To test it out, see if it's your thing.
And from what I've heard, like Jared puts on a hell of an event. Like I've heard it's great. I've not yet made it to one, and that's one that I was slated to work, and then that didn't work out. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll just race in it because Nick Ball and Phil do that one a lot, and they swear by. They said it's the second most fun you could have with your pants on. Race week still the first.
Yeah.
But real quick, Neil, Stevie will never be on. She's not that person. She's just not the extroverted kind of thing. But lots and lots of coder love over here. Like I said, I've heard nothing but good out of the coder camp, and totally fun. Totally racer centric from what I hear. And yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to doing one of these years where I can actually compete. I raced the Grom at race week, and I wheelied the dog crap out of the Grom, by the way. I thought it was coming out from underneath me. Full disclosure.
Hey,
if there were cameras in front of me, you only would have seen dinner plate eyes. Yeah, dude. I was sure that thing was looping out in front of God and everybody. I couldn't do it. So either way, but that's the first time I've driven on a drag strip since, I don't know, 2 years ago. I raced the Cadillac at Kearney for El Pass. I raced with Pat Cook. I'm 0 for 2 on grudge races with Pat Cook. But I need to get on one at some point, and that's on my short list because everyone always says that it's a really, really cool event. It's a gangster event.
It is. So. And this last one of our stops on the drive day, we had a whole day of driving, and it ended at a drive-in movie theater, and we took over the whole place. And they
had movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you could slide your lady over and you could do a little necking because that's what you do at a drive-in movie theater.
That's it.
Yeah. Claudia, shut up.
Yeah. Get in the back.
Yeah. Shut up and go to sleep. We got some
That was really
canoodling to
cool.
do up here. Yeah, dude. Neil and Stevie are planning to do a That's Cool drink without me. It's just going to be Stevie telling dad jokes and Neil making fun of me. If you guys don't know Neil, so I do the Chad Reynolds impression.
The thing
Yeah,
with the
hey,
hey
you
guys.
guys, it's awesome. So Neil does an Adam Dory doing Chad Reynolds impression. So he does an impression of me doing an impression of Chad Reynolds. It's actually pretty good, and it's just like, "Hey, I'm Adam Dory. I'm Chad Reynolds. It's awesome." And yeah, Neil doesn't say much, but when he does, that dude lays it down. Neil's half of the Bang Shift crew. In fact, most of the time he's all of the Bang Shift crew, while Chad's out
Oh, okay.
kissing babies and shaking hands. So the real linchpin behind the whole system is Neil pressing the bleep bloops and making
Yeah.
the cameras do the thing and whatnot. So, dude, to Neil,
Mm-hmm.
bam, pre live stream on BAM Shift. Mm-hmm. So, what the hell got you into cars? Where did you start? Where you were like, dude, I'm gonna be a car dude, and why was it? Oh God, did I lose the best picture on the planet? Talk to us about it, and I'll find that picture and I'll bring it back up. But what got you into cars? What got you started down this path?
Uh, I guess it was probably when I bought my Scion is what really got me into the going fast and the racing and the drag racing and all that stuff. I'd
And
always
they're so a Scion TC. If you guys, it's a Toyota built. They were 160 or 180 horsepower, something like
yep.
that. You know, naturally aspirated front drive four banger. But it was at like the very kind of end of the Fast and the Furious like tuner scene where it was like, you know, the over the top kind of car, and they were it was regular cars, but this thing was it was kind of already done. You could just buy the thing and it looked like that, and it ran pretty good, and
Yeah, they
um,
were decently quick for, mine brand new was like 16,000
totally.
for a
And
five
I mean,
speed, 170 horsepower, whatever it was.
yeah, whatever they are, and yeah, whatever. And Crystal's hammering you a little bit. Um,
It was quick. It was quick.
yeah, I mean they're just sporty, little neat, but you know, I mean that I did find this one, and I can only assume it's a backwards hat.
Oh yeah, backwards
Um,
hat, rocking
yeah,
that.
and so I mean
Lots of
you look a
wax.
little like Limp Biscuit rocking the set, like
I
Rushing Through Lead,
was. I was
as you're
rocking it.
placing
Yeah.
your bet. And I was telling Stevie, I was like, I guarantee he's listened to um, the chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water
Oh,
right
most
now
likely.
because I did the same thing. I had the same. I mean, we're about the same age. So,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, that was whatever. That's awesome. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
so like that just sort of got you. You like you bought it and you were like,
Yeah. I bought it. I was
I'm a
driving
car
at the
dude. Like,
time.
that's it.
At the time, I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I'd take it off road or whatever, but didn't do much with it. And seen that car and bought it and decided, take it to the drag strip every once in a while. We had a little 8th mile trip that was our eighth mile track right here in Denton. And I'd go up there on Friday nights, and it was like $10 or $20 to get in and race all night. And I'd just line up and race. I didn't care.
Who cares? Yeah,
I,
just rip it.
I was
I
just
mean,
racing myself. I was just trying to see how fast I could go. I didn't care who
totally.
lined up with me.
Yeah, yeah. Just see how quick you can go and how if you can get new personal best with your
Yeah.
ride. And I get it, dude. Those are like that was kind of a fun time. And if you got into a race, that was neat. If you didn't, that's not the end of the world either. Like you're just doing your thing, and you're beating your car up a little bit, and you don't have to worry about red and blue lights in the mirror and
Yep.
whatever.
And I beat the
So
crap out of that car for 6 years. and it never gave me any problems. And
Hell
that's
yeah.
that's how I ended up being a Toyota guy.
My sister had one, and it was the purple color.
Mm-hmm.
And when she started dating her now husband, he started driving it, and I was like, I mean, you're the only dude on the whole planet that drives a purple Scion TC. And he was like, it has 50,000 miles on it, and it gets 35 miles a gallon, and it has a
Yeah.
subwoofer, and I don't care. I'm driving it to and from work, like I give a crap. And then he sold it to another dude, who sold it to another dude, who sold it to another dude, and it was still when I was working at my job. Someone at that place owned that car,
Yeah.
and yeah, whatever, dude.
Still going.
It was good. The Vintage Vehicle Adventures guys want to know if that was the beginning of the end of the hair for Mr. Eric Carroll,
mm,
or were
uh,
you still rocking a full
I think
mane
I still had some hair back then.
back in the day?
It started
Um,
getting thin, and I wasn't doing the cover up thing. I just busted the razor
yeah,
out. And
just knock it out. Who
yep,
cares?
yep.
Eric Daniels says you go 13-0 in the eighth. So
It would do a 10 something. Thank you very much.
thank you so much in the
Yeah,
eighth.
he had one
Um,
too.
so you had the Scion. You're kind of doing the thing. Again, it's kudos on kind of having a clean one. You didn't kill it. I'm
No,
proud of you
I
for
didn't
that.
kill it.
Like it looks good. It's tastefully modded. Like that's what if you're a Scion dude and you're not a douche, that's what they look like.
The
Uh,
spoiler was a bit much. I'll admit
a
that.
little bit, but
It was a little
same.
bit.
Like at the time at that time frame, like you were pressing it a little bit, but you could sit on there and eat your lunch, and that's fine. Like that's what
But
it's
what
for.
that the story behind that picture was, I entered the car into a Scion advertisement campaign where I had to send up photos and all that stuff, and they were picking like 150 cars or 200 cars or something like that across the country to do a commercial, like a advertisement shoot.
Yeah.
And I got picked from those photos I sent in, and they paid for me to go to Henderson, Nevada, wingman. uh, and it was in an advertisement campaign. A couple of commercials they shot, and they did like a magazine print.
Dude,
It was pretty cool.
nice.
I got put up for
That
like a
pay
couple of
anything?
days at a hotel, so it was nice.
Is that all that pay? Did you get any money out of it, or was it just like
Hey,
clout? Like my car's in
yeah,
your ad.
I got a
So they got
magazine
you as
ad with
they
my
got you as
name.
free talent for their stuff. That's fine, but still,
Yeah,
your stuff's out there. Like, dude, I've been in the magazine. Have you?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've been in Hot Rod twice. That's true. Yes.
There you go.
So yes, and RPM once, but that doesn't really count. That was for race week. But
Yeah,
that's no, I get it. That's one of those things. Like I built that thing, man, and
yeah.
every time I skinned my knuckles doing stupid junk and almost crashed it, and when I didn't, like, it paid off. Here it
Yep.
is. And like your buddy who had his, like, was he in the ad campaign as well?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know. I met Eric at King of the Open Road actually
Okay,
a
all right.
couple years back, and I talked him into doing
Well,
um, race week.
probably not, Eric. Shut up.
He did 1.0 this year
Nice.
in his Durango,
Okay, all right.
Hellcat Durango. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember
Hmm.
it. That was quick
We,
too.
we got him. We got him hooked now. So
That's the way. That's the
yeah,
absolute
it
way.
happens.
So what brought you from a Scion to? Tell us about your progression. Where are you moving?
Well, when Crystal and I got married, um, well, I just an IS 300 got traded in at the dealership we worked at, and I needed money to get married, pay for everything. Wasn't making much back then, so I sold the Scion, used the money for that for the wedding and stuff, and that's how I ended up with my first IS 300. And that's just it was just totally different. That was my first like rear wheel drive car.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was. much more fun to drive than the TC was for sure.
Yeah, and you and Crystal met at work.
We met,
well, sort of. You worked together,
sort of, yeah. We met through the car club I was in,
right?
With the Scion. We had mutual friends, and then we met at a 4th of July party or something, and
yeah,
that's how that went.
Andrew Loy's on.
Hey, Lexus buddy.
That's right. And thanks. He's also my pusher for beef jerky. We do beef jerky exchanges. So.
Yeah, dude's got some good beef jerky.
Yeah, and the nice thing with his is he kills all his jerky. Yeah. I buy mine at the grocery store,
Buc-ee's,
and slice it up. No, I make some, and we have switched it out, and it's I'll give you some next time. It's
all right.
I like mine. It's whatever. He makes good jerky though. Absolutely.
Yeah, he does.
And Raul Lipinski says that you convinced Christy the Nova needs a 2J.
Yeah.
So
I brought it up just as a joke. She came over to the pits at 1.0, I think, and said something about it. And I was like, "Oh, that car needs a 2J. Keep it inline 6 because that's what her car has in it now."
Right.
He's like, "Rob said the same thing," and I was like, "Yes." And then I took her for a ride in the Baboon, and she's like, "Yeah, I could do that."
And then now it's all over.
I hope she shows up with a 2J in it. Yeah,
I mean, then you'll have more homies.
Yeah,
doing the thing. So a stock IS. Is that a 1J?
No, it's still a 2J. It's just naturally aspirated. The VVTi version. Right.
Which I've learned a little bit about is a little less desirable because it needs wacky management to run it, but it's less money.
Yeah, they're less money. You can pick those up pretty cheap, but the blocks are basically the same. The cast iron blocks. It doesn't matter if it's a turbo or non-turbo. They're all super stout, and you just have to put better rods and pistons in it, and that's really all you have to do to them. I mean, mine's got forged rods and pistons and some Brian Crower valve train stuff, and other than that, it's stock block, stock bore, stock head, stock intake.
Shout out Brian Crower.
Yeah, there we go.
So I mean, so you did your first 2JZ swap.
Well,
with Nas.
Yeah, with Nas.
He's there in the corner.
Yeah,
I had to get it out.
There we go.
So yeah, dude. There will be a 2JZ with a 6-speed when it comes back out.
Nice.
There you go. Eric can help you with that. He put a T56 in his.
Yep.
He can give you the whole package, whatever you need to do it. But so you have this IS, you're driving it all around stock IS with your brand new bride in there, and she probably hates you because she's like, dude, like this is cool, but
she loved that car.
Did she?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We just needed room. We needed room for a kid, and a baby seat didn't fit in the back of that too well, so I had to sell it and got a 4Runner.
And that's the beast.
No, that was just a project.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
I had a 99 3rd gen 4Runner and a 2001 3rd gen.
Okay.
All 4.
I saw some photos of it. It was not. It's just it's a not spectacular truck. It's just a regular everyday.
Didn't do anything to. I put some tires on it and buried it in the mud a few times, but that's what you do with Toyota 4-wheel drives.
Totally. Yeah. And those are that was the first generation with the 3.4, I believe, right?
Which one? The Gen 3.
The 3rd gen
had the 3.4. Yeah.
Yeah, which is, the 22R was kind of always the bulletproof. You can't kill it; it'll run with rocks in it and stuff like that.
Yes.
But then the 3.4 came out. It's a 4-cam, so dual overhead cam deal. And now all of a sudden you could have a Toyota that was not just reliable, but it had some power.
Yeah, a little bit.
22R not really known necessarily for power.
No, mine.
Again, they'll run with rocks in them, and yes, the 3.0 is absolute garbage.
3-point slow.
Yeah, and yeah, whatever. But the 3.4, all of a sudden you've got like a reliable, awesome doink, and that was, in my opinion, the best Forerunner.
It
Um,
was a very
it,
yeah. It,
and the truck. I mean, the Tacoma too was
yep.
those were great. We had some in Iraq, and they were
Mhm.
that it was a Hilux, short
Right.
bed, long, 4 door, but it was all that same junk.
Yeah.
And that was a great truck, man. Those things are awesome. They're strut front ends, they're leaf rear ends. They're just, you can't
Die
hardly
hard.
screw them things up. They're
No.
they're pretty awesome. Crystal loved the third gen.
Yeah, she did.
So
She's liked all the cars I had that I've bought, I think.
keep her
For the
around.
most
The two
part.
sevens were pretty good too. I mean, for a four
Yeah.
banger,
Yeah, they're
they
pretty
did
good.
they did do really well. It was light years better and more powerful than the 22R.
Yeah.
And I had so truth. Let's back up the truth train. I had an
Yeah, let's hear it.
86. I had an 86 Toyota 4-wheel
Mhm.
drive, but it was a 22 RTE. It was the turbo truck.
Yeah. So that
And
Forerunner was a 86
yeah, um,
RE. Yeah.
and it was a sweet. I mean, it was an awesome truck. The
Mhm.
stock turbo was just it was just garbage on the thing.
Yeah.
I bought it from a dude who the keyway sheared on the crank pulley.
Yeah.
So he thought the motor was blown up because it was running, but none of the accessories were running. So I bought that truck for like nothing, which was awesome. And if you don't know, the turbo trucks had a better trans in
Yep.
them. They were sort of the best of what was available at the time. And it was a really clean truck. Like most of those times, they were rusty piles of junk.
Yeah.
So there was a place in town called Turbo Engineering Corporation or something, TEC, and they sold a T3 turbo that you could put on those, which was a huge improvement. It was like dude, I don't even know, 62 millimeter,
Oh
and the
wow.
stock one was like 50. It was like a
Yeah.
huge improvement for that
That's
thing.
a big difference. Yeah.
Um, and that truck, I've had it on a dyno once, and it never got like tuned. It had that weird manual injection with the flapper and
Oh
stuff, and
yeah.
that stuff still worked. So I just kept it. I put a bigger injector in it and hoped, we'll see. Um, and it worked great for a while
Nice.
while I owned it. I think it made 180 rear wheel horsepower and like 250 foot pounds of torque.
Wow.
It was insane, and it ran in the 13s.
Dang.
In at Vandermeer, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's impressive.
It was badass. It would put slicks on it, and it did wheelies. At the time, it was 96.
Yeah.
So like, dude, a 5 liter Mustang at Vandermeer ran 1580.
Yeah.
So I could kill on mud tires. 5 liter Mustangs and IROC Camaros, and it was this ratty old regular cab truck, and it just had a big turbo on it. And I had so much fun with that thing, and I ended up selling it to this kid. It had a manual boost controller on it, and it was one of
Oh
the
yeah.
like, oh, if 12 pounds is cool, 15 pounds has
Try
got to be
15.
better. Um, and I guarantee that's what happened. And he blew the thing up in like 5 seconds, and he was calling me bitching that he blew the thing up. But
Yeah.
I drove it on power tour. Yeah, I've got a long history of Toyota type stuff, and I've got friends that have had a bunch of those. So, um,
I
yeah,
know
man,
deep down that's why you love my cars. I
that's
know.
pretty much it.
Down
That's pretty
underneath.
much it.
Yeah.
Brad, dude, the BTR hat. This was the $10 hat. This is a couple of year old one. BTR laid it down at race week. Those dudes were awesome. I'm also wearing a 1320 shirt. Those dudes, dude, if you haven't seen the updates, because I'm locked in the tower. I don't know what's going on at all, ever. And those dudes yeah. Check out all the race or the 1320 content for race week. They laid it down. So, uh,
They did good. They got a lot of good coverage this year.
hell yeah, dude. So you got the IS. You're doing the thing. At what point are you like, all right, like I gave you your baby. Now I'm gonna build a car.
Yeah, the Go Fast car happened in 2020 when Crystal and I decided to go on Road Week with Stuart.
Yep. And so
And
Stuart had brought Claudia to a race week. Or were you guys there with her? I'm not sure. No, it wasn't. I don't think it was Claudia. It was another grandkid.
oh yeah, it was his other granddaughter, Natalie, probably.
Yep. Yeah.
That was the year before.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
you guys road weeked, and you brought. Did you bring the 4Runner? I can't remember what you
no,
guys
I
brought.
was in I had a 2015 Tundra, a black
Okay.
1794 Tundra.
Yep.
And that's what we road weeked in. And like, I knew before the week was over that I was buying a car. I just didn't know what.
Nice.
And
And
Stuart
being a
told me,
Toyota guy, and now knowing that every wheel drive is kind of the way,
yeah,
like it ends up as it's probably going to be an IS. Like,
well, yeah, I wanted to do an import. I wanted to do a 2J car. Just, I like the way they sound. I like how smooth the inline six is. Just something about it, I love V8s too. I've got one of those too, but I
that's why.
don't know. The
That's why
inline
I even
six
let.
is just
That's why I
smooth
even
as
let you on
glass.
the show. By the way.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, yeah. So I couldn't afford a Supra. For obvious reasons, they're outrageously expensive now. So I got a good deal on that IS and started, building it, and did then race week the next year with it, and it was miserable. Tried to do it with a stupid automatic transmission, and the car didn't make as much power, and the transmission didn't want to do anything, and I was running like 15-second passes all week, hating every minute of it,
Right, fighting it and
fighting it, just worried if it's going to make the trip, but it finished the week and went on the trailer as soon as we got back to wherever it was we started in 21, Kearney, I think.
Kearney, yep.
Maybe Great Bend. And it went, as soon as we got done, I broke the beams, put it on the trailer, and started drinking. It was one of those kinds of days.
Yep.
Shortly after that's when I pulled the automatic out. Yeah, that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So after fighting with the automatic for a week, I was like, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. It's getting a manual. And put a T56 Magnum in it. And it's great.
And you're saying it's an F Magnum, which is it's based on the F body.
Yeah. It's a Magnum, T56 Magnum 4 F body.
Yeah. Which
GM
is
cars.
And again, if you don't know, the shifter's way far back on those.
Yep.
It's like a one-off. It's its only thing. In fact, it's the one to use in a CTSV if you're going to make that change, because it's the same deal. The shifter's way far back, so it's kind of a weird one-off. Like if you've got one, it's good to know it also fits an IS. Like that's kind of neat.
And with the bell housing I got from
it's been in my like repertoire eventually for the Cadillac, because it may need a trans at some point. So I'm like, I'm not putting a stock trans back in it. I'll put a Magnum F in it. But then I'm like, oh, well, Eric's got one in his car. So like, then if we have problems, we could trade. Just in case, I mean, mine's blown up or yours blown up. Just keep that in mind as we move forward. But what's it take to put a T56 behind a 2JZ? Is it like a regular everyday adapter kit? Someone sells a deal?
Granis Racing has a kit for that car, and it is absolutely everything that you need, from the bell housing, clutch, everything, one-piece drive shaft, all the mounting brackets. He casts his own bell housings, and I mean, it just straight bolt in.
Nice, dude.
I didn't have to cut a hole in the floor. I had to, massage the tunnel a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, it's just more. There's more stuff going on there.
Yeah, and there was a couple of ears on the transmission, just from the aluminum mold for other applications that I didn't need. I had to trim some of those off. But other than that, I mean, it was just straight bolt up.
And if you guys don't know, like a Magnum transmission, like a lot of dudes, John Puckett for example, has a Fox Capri with a totally box stock Magnum trans, and it runs in the eights. It has synchros and everything still in it. So they're strong as hell, and especially if you're talking 2J, you can make a lot of horsepower, and 2/3 of that in torque, and it'll eat that stuff up without even saying hello, like no big
Yeah.
deal.
I think it's rated for 1,100 horsepower and like 700. Mine's 700 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah, and I mean it's Bill Armstrong and Rich Keto have the same transmission in their car. It's theirs are face plated. They've got some like high zoot stuff in them now.
Right.
But when they were running like 920 in 4,000-pound cars, it was
like crazy.
it was pretty much box stock stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a gangster trans for one of these, and I mean they're money, but they're not like huge. You're not talking 10K. You can get one of those in a car for $5,000 with the trans, probably somewhere in there.
Yeah, the whole kit was like 8.
Okay.
The whole with the transmission and
with the trans and everything, right?
And everything.
Was it and it's a brand new trans, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like if I blow it up, I can get a brand new just transmission for I think they're like $3,500 or something, which isn't bad, really.
Yeah. Totally. And there's a lot of nickel and dime stuff when you're talking clutch and flywheel and bell housing. I mean, there's a ton of stuff kind of involved with that. So that's in the hood. But now you've got, and this is post the baboon trunk, but now you've got like a legit here we go. Like we got a 2J, we got a nice trans. We got a chassis that there's available parts for and whatnot. Like let's get weird.
Yeah. And I mean, it's really, really fun car to drive. I'm still a little gun shy on launching it really hard because, I mean, the motor does make 600 horsepower. It puts like 540 to the tire, and it's still stock differential and stock axles.
Yeah. What are those diffs and stuff good for? And what's the upgrade?
I haven't. Oh, the upgrade would be like a Ford 8.8 independent.
8.8?
Yeah.
That's what I've got in the Cadillac.
Yeah. The same thing you got in the Cadillac.
Yeah. It's
and
just
actually Andrew Loy has done that on his. He has swapped it over to the 8.8 in the rear.
I actually remember calling for a punch call for him because he
blew one in half. Yep.
Yep.
An aluminum case when he blew it in half.
Yep. They have if it uses that the fucking Mustang one, it has 2 little ears that everyone always builds the mounts off of. And if you wheel pop it, those ears break off in the aluminum ones. The iron ones are stout as hell. You can't hurt them. But the Cadillac guys have the same problem.
Yeah.
Because they wheel hop bad. And if you wheel hop an especially independent rear suspension car, they start doing opposite.
Stuff breaks.
and it breaks stuff like right now. And all that stuff's relatively spindly compared to a live axle. It just is. That's how it's built. It has to be able to move. And you would think the diffs would be fine, but that crap ain't, because it's shooting all that stuff right into the diff, and it's the hard mounted piece. So all the other stuff can move a little bit, but ends up being the weak link. And yeah, Cadillac dudes do the same thing. The Cadillacs wheel hop real bad. Yeah, it's part of the deal. But yours has the stock diff, and how quick has the Silver Baboon been?
The quickest, my PB in that is an 1183.
Which is, and your goal in that is pretty much 1150, right?
Yeah. I mean,
because it would need a cage or a bar at least.
After that, yeah.
A bar at least, and then you're in the same boat as me. I'm like an 1150 streetcar guy. I do an 1150 streetcar is a fast ass streetcar. When you're not at race week, any given time on the road, you're the fastest car on the road. I mean, no matter what. And 2 weeks out of the year, you have 8-second friends, and you feel like the slow guy.
Yeah.
But 50 weeks out of the year, you got a bad hot rod if your junk runs in the 11s and you can drive it down the street. So Don't get it twisted. If you've been watching live streams and you're like, well, that stuff doesn't run in the eights, well, that must be junk. Um, it's a tough thing being a dude with an 11-second car with 8-second friends. I get it. It's my life living around Rich Guido and Bill Armstrong. It's just,
Right.
it is what it is. But yeah, dude. I mean, 1150 streetcar. Nick Ball's watching. Now he needs to be faster than Phil. You shouldn't have sold your nitrous, you idiot.
He
Um,
needs a bigger kit.
dude, Phil went 1020 in his car, in his stick shift
Yes,
CR1.
Yeah.
And he had PBs every day. Vince Ruiz's 8-second cars are all the time are funner. I get it. Shut up. How about that? The best part about 8-second cars, though, is that 8-second cars don't run 8 seconds all the time. If you come across them on the street, most of the time that stuff runs in the 11s. So I got something for you. If you're on Wastegate,
Street tune.
and you got your diesel truck tune in.
Yeah.
Because my stuff runs the same all the time. So yeah, it runs 1150, but it runs 1150 going to the grocery store, and it runs 1150 getting on the highway, and it runs 1150 when I take it to the racetrack, and it runs 1150 in the ice and the snow. Your 8-second car on gate runs 1150, and I got something for you. In fact, I know your car runs that because Heather runs 12.0 in your car, foot braking it. Yeah. And Ed Horenberg says it's too bad 11-second cars are now D-list. And it just is. A bunch of them break them up by time.
Yeah.
And if you're in that, dude, and a bunch of them are 10 flat or something like that and slower, do your filler. And that's, I mean, your filler anywhere. It just is, again, in drag and drive, hanging out with 8-second dudes. But again, you got a car with no bar in it that you can shove all your family in it, and you can go anywhere in the world.
Anywhere, yeah.
Right, and you don't need all the safety junk, the neck junk. It's like I got long pants and a helmet. Like, let's go.
And a cold air conditioner in it.
Right, dude. Like, yeah, don't get it twisted. If you're just getting started, if you're watching and you're like, man, I'm gonna drag and drive stuff, but I'm too slow because my crap only runs 11s. Dude, your crap is fast. Just bring it, have fun, and you'll find out. Like, when you start looking at it and like, well, yeah, my stuff runs 11s, but my stuff's as quick as all the other 2J stuff that's out here. That's not Pro Mod.
Right.
So I got something going on here. I'm quicker than a bunch of stuff with bigger than 3-liter engines out here. Yeah, dude. So bring your stuff. Again, it's a different thing thinking, the guy that just won Drag Week ran 650. I get it. That's kind of a kick in the nuts with an 11-second car, but
yeah,
it's not at the same time when you look at it.
Yeah.
But Ed, again, I keep threatening to have you on, dude. I need to have him on. Ed's been doing drag and drive for a long time. He brought a stock eliminator record holding Fox Mustang on Drag Week. Stick shift dude, because you know how we roll. So
that's the fun. That's where the fun's at.
I'm gonna have that cat on at some point. Like I said at one point, announcing a race between you and Brendan. These rides are making their way down, but only one of them was rolling the gears. So who actually won that round?
Yeah.
Just saying. Mm-hmm. What got you into the Thundercloud? At what point are you like, okay, I'm a Toyota dude. I've got to grow up at some point. I can't keep putting my wife and kid in my race car.
When they came out, like I said, I've always been into cars. I've always fast cars. I've loved Vipers and all that stuff for years and years. And when something like that comes out, I knew about it, and I was like, I wanted one. Definitely couldn't afford one when they came out because they were pricey. And just was looking around one day, and it popped up online, and I went to go look at it and came home in it.
Hell yeah.
I had another full size Lexus. I had an LS 460 prior to the Tundra, and it was a big, cushy, V8 big sedan, and it was fun to drive.
Hmm.
And but I just knew they were good cars. It's a good motor, kind of limited run type deal. I kind of like those low production number cars.
Yeah.
And yeah, went and test drove it and drove it home that night. Crystal was out of town. She was surprised when she came home.
Was she mad?
You
No,
still there?
maybe. Was she? Yeah, I'm there. Sorry, we got a little.
Yeah.
But when? When do you buy the Challenger? What happened with the Challenger?
Oh, the Challenger.
I mean, so here it
Yeah,
is.
that was
It's a
I wanted something fast again because I had been driving Forerunners for 5 or 6 years, and that thing just showed up at a dealership next to where I worked, and I went and looked at it, and it was a 6 speed also.
nice.
Just V8 rear wheel drive. It was a fun car. Um, just wasn't super impressed with the build quality on it.
Well, it's a Mopar. It's not
Yeah,
a
and
Toyota.
kind of yeah, right. The I don't know. It was fun. I had fun while I had it. It was a good road tripping car. It was comfortable. Big old heavy boat.
It's kind of got to be nice. I mean, we rented the one, and it's V6,
Yeah,
whatever. Um, I I actually loved the drivetrain in that thing. We were 30 miles a gallon most of the time.
yeah,
Running 65, 75 miles an hour. It ran 15.0,
yeah,
and but god damn it, that Challenger sucked. Um, I hit my head on the door frame every single time I got in. You
yeah.
can't wear a hat in it and look around, or your
Yeah.
hat hits the freaking corner where the door comes down. It's like a chop top car. Dude, I'm
Yeah.
5'8", and I don't fit into a Challenger. How do you drive a Challenger if you're a normal sized dude? Um I get it. It was whatever. It was a decent rental. I'm really glad I rented one because I'm never gonna buy one ever.
That's
No
basically
reason.
what my blue one was. It
Yeah,
was like a long term rental. I
right.
sold it before I ever even did an oil change in it.
Yeah. So whatever. Those you with Challengers, you're idiots. There's cars out there that fit you way better than you fit. I promise you. It was challenging for me,
Yeah.
Stevie, because she's telling dad jokes.
You got a book of dad
She
jokes out?
knows. She knows. I freaking whacked my head every single time I got in that car, and I was like, "This car sucks." Every single time, like every time. Yeah, not a Challenger dude, but that's just me.
Nah, me either.
Um, so I'm stalking the crap out of you before this, and I come across like we might be best friends because I
Hmm.
found this, and I hope, God damn it, I hope it's yours. What's this?
Um, that's not the exact picture of my truck, but I had one just like it.
Yes, we can be
Yeah,
friends still.
yeah, I had one just like it.
The OBS truck,
Yeah,
GMT 400 trucks,
it was.
absolutely awesome.
It was a slow turd, but it sounded good. It had a 305 with dual exhaust, and
That's the key. That's the
it
key.
was
Steve
fun.
hit her
I
head.
liked it.
She's 5'4". She hit her head getting in and out of that car. How do you want to challenge her if your name is Don McGinnis and you're like 6'2"? How in the hell?
They must
Yeah,
wear their helmet all the time.
because you're gonna hit your head every
Yeah,
single
yeah,
time you get in and out of that car.
yeah.
Stupid. Um, so OBS trucks, I'm in. Like, let's go.
Yep,
Yeah, dude. Like we've got some dovetailing stuff, and then you got Crystal's truck.
yep. Crystal
Um,
T10.
you guys just picked up a C10. It's kind of behind us. Here's a not lettered up door
Yeah.
version. This is shopped, right? This isn't how it sits.
Do what now?
Is this photoshopped or is this how it sits?
No, that's how it sits.
Dude, that's clean as hell. You Texans. Um, you get, dude, y'all are, yeah, you get good cars and you don't know it. They have crap interior, but the car, the bones on the like, dude, that's a $30,000 truck up here.
I painted
Because it's
that too.
solid. Did you?
Yeah,
Nice.
that's a Rust-Oleum rattle can,
Hell yeah.
black underneath, and I went over it with the blue and sanded through it and kind of give it the patina kind of
Yeah.
look, and then put a satin clear on it.
Hell yeah. So this is gonna be Gen 6 big block.
Yep.
And it's like aluminum heads, a nice it's got an Edelbrock Pro Flow. So this is Crystal's, right? Crystal's
Yep.
drag and drive ride. So it'll be
Yep.
you're gonna have Crystal and the kiddo
Yep.
rocking in the truck, and then you and whoever will be rocking the Silver Baboon or whatever you come across.
Me by myself in silence.
You earned it. You earned it, my friend. If you guys don't know, I got to tell the story. So Claudia named the cars. And again, Eric was just like, that is not the name of my car, man. But because I have a microphone and Eric does not, his car became the name that it is. But so I don't have any pictures of the blue trunk. You must be really upset about the blue trunk. You didn't include any, or you scrubbed your Facebook because you knew it was coming. But he had the IS, and it had a blue trunk on it.
It did, yeah. It was a used carbon fiber trunk that I bought off of a blue car. And I was like, I don't care what it looks like. I just want the weight savings. And then it got that name. And I was like, okay, I got to get rid of the blue trunk now.
Yeah, so now it has a not blue trunk. She called it the Silver Baboon because it had a blue trunk and it looked like it had a blue ass.
Yeah.
And the car's silver. It now has a black carbon fiber trunk, but it's still the Silver Baboon because I have a microphone and you don't. And that's why that's named that. And then, Crystal, when you brought the Thundercloud the first time, had Claudia, and she was like, "Come here, Claudia wants to tell you something." And it was that this car is called the Thundercloud. I think because of the color.
The color, yeah.
Because it kind of looks like a thunder, but it was the same. You were like, I don't want to call my car the Thundercloud, but again, I have a microphone and you don't, so the car was now the Thundercloud. Named, Claudia has named two of your cars that I've just told the world about, and it's maintained that way because, again, if a little cute and she was maybe like 4 or 5-year-old girl is like, hey, that's my daddy, and his car is called the Silver Baboon. Your car's the Silver Baboon, pal. I don't care if you like it or not.
Forever and ever. Yep.
That's right. So you win that because your kid is cute. Here's a little baby one. She is in the driver's seat there of the 4Runner. This was the toy of yours. This is the Beast, right?
Yeah, that's the Beast. Yeah, it was. I saved that thing from going to the junkyard. Got it for $500, and my brother-in-law helped me build a motor, and it was a fun truck. It was a 5-speed, 4-wheel drive. And, just
86, you said?
Yeah, it was an 86 with a 22 RE fuel injected engine.
So independent front suspension. That had been the first year of the independent front suspension. And the 22 RE would be fuel injected, so it's like kind of the best 22 RE that they had. A year off sort of the unicorn truck, which would be the front, the solid front axle 85 with the fuel injection as well. But the same look, other than the IFS, they look identical. 8-inch rear axle. Those things are sweet. It's just sort of a timeless, cool truck. But no longer the Beast.
No, I hated to see it sitting around. Cars need to be driven. I hate seeing cars just sit and not get used, and it was just sitting in the garage, and I I was like, I was into the racing thing and I didn't go off road anymore. So I just decided to list it. And some guy, I had lots of hits on it, but some guy messaged me and he's like, "Oh yeah, this will be good for me to take my kids camping and fishing in." And I was like, "Come get it." He drove up here from
That's what I built it for. So
Yep. He drove up here from San Antonio with a trailer and bought it, took it home.
hell
So
yeah. Yeah, these things are cool. Tons of aftermarket. The IFS trucks are less money than the live axle trucks. The live axle trucks are getting hard to find now. To
they
be
are,
honest
yeah.
with you, they've either been wrecked or they're rusted to crap, or someone's robbed all the suspension out of it to put in to an IFS truck
Yeah.
and deem them relatively worthless. So
Yeah.
these things are cool. They're tanks. I had, like I said, I had one. I beat the dog crap out of that thing. It was by the time I sold it, the rear leaf springs were shaped like an S. Like I said, I was drag racing the thing. I was off roading it. It made a ton of power. Street racing like crazy. That thing was the most fun street race truck on the planet because it was quiet. It had a muffler and everything. 2.5-inch exhaust with a muffler in it. You couldn't tell it had anything. It wasn't air cooled or nothing. It just, it was hot air, so it didn't. Nothing showed from the outside. It looked like this truck. It had 32s on it without a lift, and so it just barely fit. It would rub in turns and stuff, and that truck, even on the mud tires, would run. I think probably well in the 13s.
Dang.
It was like it was maybe in the 14s, like 1440s, 1430s, or something like that. But again, like a 5-liter Mustang or an IROC Camaro ran in the 16s.
Yeah.
So even on mud tires, like burning through all our first gear, I was taking people's money and paying my rent with it, and it was cool as hell.
There you go.
Those things are sweet. If you're looking for an entry level, and they're expensive now, unfortunately.
They are, yeah.
The ones that are left, even IFS ones, if they're worth a damn, they're big time money now.
Yeah.
Again, same deal. They've all been rolled or crashed or rusted to junk. They are rusty. They just have a problem with that.
Yeah.
The Japanese didn't figure out about rust in the U.S. market until that era, and it was 10 years later, really.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh shit, stuff in America rusts out in like 10 years," and we're way behind the curve on that. And it whatever. They just didn't know. Part of the deal. But they figured it out quick because every single one of those trucks is rusty as hell, is what it is. But go find yourself one of those. It's a cool entry level truck. You can still find them cheap once in a while. Most of the time they're hammered. Whatever. You can put a buddy of mine put a super motor in one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the hell the designation is for the thing, but it was an inline 6. Not 2J, not 1J. It was something else.
Probably maybe the 7M.
That was it, totally, the 7M, which was awesome. That truck was absolutely a pleasure to drive after he did that. You can do American V8s in them. Ford V8 is kind of a popular one for that because the distributor's up front and they're narrow. You can do small block Chevys in them. They fit like shit, to be honest with you. The exhaust is always a mess.
And the distributor was on the wrong. Was on the
distributor's
back.
on the back, so you gotta try to mess with that. But there's lots of cool stuff you can do to those, and the aftermarket's totally there, and it's still there. It's been there since the early 2000s, and it continues to be strong. So you put, and if you watch like Dirt Every Day on YouTube, like he wheels with dudes with these all the time, and a lot of them have a stock Toyota front diff with Burfield eliminators on them, and a long Chevy leaf spring on the back, like a 60-inch or 62-inch Chevy leaf spring, and they flat ass work. Like they're not high tech. They're leaf sprung in all four corners. So they ride like shit, but like they work. You can wheel them. They're neat. They're cool trucks.
I liked it a lot. I had that truck for like 13 years.
Yeah. The only negative, they make no power, so you got to gear the dog crap out of them. They sold, I think, 571s at some point for 8 inches.
488s and that one with 35s, and it was speedo was perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, the only power mods I did to it were headers and electric fans.
Yeah. Stick a turbo on those. They're fun as
Yeah.
hell. And they'll take it. I beat the dog crap out of that RTE. That was fun. I did blow the transmission up and put a V6 trans in it
Oh yeah.
later down the line, but I sold the trans that I blew up for more than the V6 trans cost me to buy because they were worth so much money. They had the deeper first gear. They were sort of like the rock crawler one, that R151. See, stick with me. I know some Toyota shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to start running through my questions on here, and
All right.
and those of you that are out there in the chat bleachers, you can toss them in there. But we're going into that school drink.
Let's go.
We're gonna tell some lies, tell some stories, and we're gonna drink some beers or Dr Pepper and Blackberry
Yeah.
Crown, which is again spectacular. But what is your best memory from a drag and drive?
Ugh. My best memory from a drag and drive. Probably the first one I finished in the IS and the Baboon, where I didn't have any problems. And I can't remember if that was last year or the year before. It's when we ended in Pueblo, I think.
Year before.
Yeah. And like went through all week, and driving through the mountains is always memorable. And then it's got to the last day and the car was still good, like I didn't have any problems or anything, and I just broke the beams and turned in my stuff and just hung out the rest of the day with everybody, visited everybody. It was really fun.
Hell yeah.
And that's probably tied with the Bandamere thing last year, where we had the drive day through the mountains. That was really fun. I enjoyed
pretty
that
good app on the Denver deal, kind of going away. It was fun to get out there in the mountains and really get out, explore with our race cars. And it's a different. It's one thing watching that stuff and checking that stuff out. It's a whole different thing doing it in your hot rod.
Yes.
So that was special. I agree. I thought that was really cool.
That was good. Yeah.
Tell me about the one that got away. What car did you sell you shouldn't have?
The car, I don't really have any regrets for selling any of the cars I've had.
Yeah, they all sort of led you to the car that.
Yeah, I got kind of talking to Crystal about that. It's like, I have the ones I have now are like the good ones. But I did really like my 2015 Tundra.
Okay.
I had it done up nice. It was lifted a little bit, and it was black, and it was really nice and comfortable. It was a really pretty truck and good truck.
Hell yeah!
But race car.
Everything comes to an end. Have you done any thrashing? You been any part of like a large thrash in any of these things?
Yes. So the first couple of years of the IS, well, the first year actually was a pretty good thrash, just getting ready to get it to day one. I literally picked it up from the tuner and drove it back to the house and drove it to race week the next day. And
those are the best way.
Yeah. Literally no street miles on it at all. And I unloaded it at the track and started making passes with it. But the year after that, I had actually a couple years after that, I had a exhaust cam started leaking oil everywhere. And yeah, we had to me and Brendan strip this thing down in a parking lot. I don't remember where we were at, but yeah, I had the whole front of my engine off in the parking lot, trying to figure out where this oil leak was coming from. And yeah, that was a pain, but we figured out what it was and got it fixed. And
like a seal or just something stupid.
Yeah, we sealed it up, and I contacted Brian Crower about it, and they they sent me a replacement cam for
Nice.
it. So that was it was nice.
That is one of the negatives to an inline six is all your gaskets are this long.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just, instead of just being the normal size gasket, they're like,
Yeah, they're kind of long. The valve cover gaskets are pretty big.
yep, it happens. Import
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
It's part of it. It is what it is. And I mean, US, six cylinders are the same way. The freaking head gasket's 1,000 feet long and it's easy to jack it up. I get it.
Yeah.
Stuff happens. But whatever. You're building a V8 truck for Crystal, so we can still be friends.
Big block too. Big block.
Yeah, exactly. Trailer or no trailer?
Whew. I'm probably no trailer. I do pack everything in my little car like it's a clown car. But I'm not a fan of pulling small trailers. I've done it for many years. They're a pain. Tough to back up.
I get it, and they're all kind of built shitty. They all kind of are. Like even if you get a good one, dude, the bearings are that big. And like your wheel bearings are that big, and the tires are, it's just, I get it. Like they're just little trailers are a pain in the ass.
And then parking at hotels is kind of a problem, especially when you got a bunch of everybody else with trailers. It runs out quick.
I get it.
I just like not having it behind me. And if I was a little more serious into it, where I had to carry a whole bunch of stuff, I mean, you just about get to the point where you have to have one for some of these guys.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you got a 650 car and you got a spare trans and spare cylinder heads and a spare rear end and a spare drive shaft, and okay, well, dude, you just ran out of room.
Yeah.
And you haven't packed clothes or toiletries or even a cooler to have water. Like, yeah,
you run out of room real fast.
Absolutely. So, do you drive on the tires that you race on?
I do not.
So you do switch.
Yeah, I do switch. On the Baboon, I have some 275 50 15 drag radials, and I basically pull the back cushion out the back seat, stand them up in there. I can fit my scooter and my tent and some other stuff in the back, and then the trunk's gutted out, no spare tire in the spare tire holes. I can fit 4 jugs of fuel back there and still close it. Yeah, it works out nice.
And you run that nonstop on E85?
Yes, nonstop.
What's the engine management? What are you running it on?
It's a EMU Black ECU Master. So it's kind of piggybacking.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a piggyback deal, right?
Well, no, it's a full standalone, but it has a plug-in. I got a plug-and-play harness that kind of spiders in with the factory ECU, so it retains the factory ECU. Still runs all the stuff in the cabin, like the air conditioner and
gauges
yeah.
Right.
And then the ECU Master controls the engine.
Okay. Nice. And so it's full standalone. Do you do most of your tuning? Do you pay a guy to tune it?
I pay a guy. Brendan Mole helps me with it.
Cool.
On some stuff that he can do. And then I have Clint Baird out at Dinosaur Performance does most of my tuning. He's got a good setup out there. He does really good.
Yeah. Nice. Hell yeah. I'm always curious because I'm familiar with it, but I'm not like familiar with it,
Yeah.
I know a lot of the aftermarket stuff will run on a lot of the aftermarket stuff, but if you want something to work with the car to make it work, there's concessions.
Yeah.
So
they were one of a few companies that had a harness that was made specifically for that car. So that's why I went with those guys.
Yeah.
And it even worked with the automatic because the stock ECU still allowed the plug and play harness allowed the stock computer to still run the transmission.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So
hell yeah.
I don't have that problem anymore.
Sorry. I'm dying here. I still haven't caught up since race week, to be 100% honest with you. We got up whatever the hell day we were done. Saturday, right? We were done.
Saturday, yeah.
We got up Sunday morning at 3 a.m. because
Oh, that was
we had to
Saturday.
drive to DFW
Saturday morning. We
Saturday
finished
morning. Yeah,
Friday, and yeah, Saturday
yeah.
morning.
We ended Friday, so Saturday morning at 3 a.m. we got up. 3:30 we drove to DFW to make our flight to get back to Rapid.
Yeah,
And it was it's a 3 hour freaking drive at
yeah.
three whatever in the morning after a whole day of working slash announcing. Yeah, I'm still catching up. I'm dying. I'm sorry. I
Nah,
apologize. You're not boring. You're fun. This is a blast. I'm having fun. The 18 people that are watching are having a blast. It's pretty much just your aunt and Crystal and Claudia is probably watching and Stevie, and that's pretty much our audience right now, which is awesome.
it's
I
all
don't
right.
care. They're having
I
a
don't care.
blast. I'm having a blast. Let's go. Um, okay, let's get to it. The one I gave you a heads up on, and the one I give everyone a heads up on. What car would you own? What car would you drive if they're not the same car?
That one, that was a tough one. I love a lot of cars that do this. Um, but a couple of my favorites. Um, I think the one that I'm torn between Corey Thompson's Chevelle and Alex Taylor's Bad Marrow, not the
Oh,
55,
dude,
the
those are
Bad Marrow.
great. Those are great cars.
Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah, dude. Corey Thompson's car does it looks like a show
beautiful.
car.
Yeah,
It might be an 11-second car. You know what I mean? Something like that in your head, and it goes 770,
yeah.
780, 180 mile an hour. No bead locks. He doesn't even have rim screws in it.
Thank you.
Um, Corey Thompson's a certified badass. That dude is awesome. I
Yep.
love his car. It's a twin turbo LS deal, and it is an absolute weapon. 180 mile an hour, 3,800 pound street car. Um, agreed.
Yeah.
And Alex Taylor's Bad Marrow, which is the car she took on drag week and needed a parental signature for her to go at 16
Yep.
in her car. It was naturally aspirated at the time. Eventually made its way into a turbo ride. I think it was twins. I can't remember exactly. But man, she was like 860 at Vandermeer. Her first time up at altitude. That car is absolutely. It's the same deal. It was her high school car.
Yep.
Amazing car. I talked to her at Bonneville a little bit actually, and I got the opportunity to go out and hang out with her and Keith and those guys at Bonneville. And I asked her when she's bringing Bad Marrow out again, and she was like, "It's just not my race car anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I want to drive it. I want to have fun with it. It doesn't make sense for me to have an 850 street car. Like, that may end up as an 11-second car again,
Mhm.
which is fine with me. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care. Like, she could have a 6-second 55, but the Bad Marrow is sort of that car is so bad. Which one is one of them? Is one of them that you would own over just driving, or are you just sort of? I would take either in either capacity.
Yeah, I would take either in either capacity.
Yeah,
I do like the orange on the Camaro though.
yeah,
I like
yeah.
orange cars.
So you'd probably own that one
Yeah, probably.
and drive Corey's. But if Corey's was like available, it would. It's not like you would be like, I have to hold out for the Bad Marrow.
Right.
Like I would take either. I would drive either. Let's have giddy up. Let's party.
Yeah.
I dig it. Those are two great ones. And actually, I think we've had Corey's before, but I'm not sure we had the Bad Marrow before. So that's a new one on That's Cool Drink.
Yeah, and
But
she had it at I think it was that very first year that we road weeked.
uh-huh.
She was racing that car,
Yep.
and so I got to see it, compete. And she actually gave Claudia a ride in it
Nice.
around
Yeah.
Vandermeer.
And
Yeah,
I think that's kind of the first time she was really getting serious with that car. Like it was kind of a 950, 920 car before that, and then she was
yeah,
like, we're gonna lay the coals to it." And she, like I said, she was like kind of 860 at Bandamere, and I think she was really looking for it. The car's only tech to go 850,
Oh yeah.
so it can only go and so she's right on the cusp of that. And that again, that was kind of like the last hurrah of like fast Bad Marrow, and then it was moving on to the 55.
55, which is an awesome car.
It's a sweet car. It's just a different car. It's a big tire.
Yeah.
Its whole job is to be a 6-second street car, which is great. But like the Bad Marrow was a high school car, right. Like it's one of those iconic cars.
Still,
right, full exhaust, and you can ride in it comfortably, and your daughter got to ride in it, and that's it's not like a full like that 55 is awesome, but it's a race car.
Yeah,
you take on the street. That's a car you could get in, you could take to a drive-in movie, you could neck with your wife in it. Like, yeah, dude, I get it. Nice, yeah. I like it. I'm getting down to the end of my questions. If you got questions, throw them up in the in the comments there. Trevor Brandon's sad that you didn't pick a GTR.
No,
he said he
wouldn't
either. Yeah. I'm going to have Trevor on too. Erin, his wife, helped me a ton in the shootout. Typically, we have the drive day before the shootout. I could not get the shootout worked out to save my life, and I got it last year. Like, no problem. I was having Michael Narks help me with it in the past. He was doing the Midwest Drag Racing Series at Flying H, and they were in the middle of it, and they were dealing with it. So I just reached out to anyone I knew that was like, dude, can you help me? And Erin, Trevor's wife, who drives the Hellcat truck, the TRX truck, on some of the Road Week stuff, mentioned at some point, like, I'm pretty good at this. I can help you out with this. And she totally did, and she got me out of the jam. And shout out to Erin. I told her I would trade her American snacks. She gives me Canadian snacks when they come down to town. Like, they got pickle chips, like these pickle like crackers, and the ketchup chips, and these maple cookies. Yeah. So I was like, I need to share something American with you, and I'm pretty sure that's bacon and pistols. So get ready. I'm gonna have bacon and pistols for you. Let's go. Team pull one out. Exactly. Vince Ruby thinks that you guys had a lightsaber fight. What happened with that? Was he thinking of somebody else, or is he using lightsabers as like a euphemism or something else?
Not.
He doesn't remember. Vince, you were high. Team pull one out. Happy anniversary, Vince. Yesterday was Vince and Heather's anniversary.
Oh yeah, happy anniversary.
Dude, Vince is a gangster. Vince is a buddy of mine, and he's been on this show. Yeah. So go check it out if you haven't. Vince was an awesome one, and there's some great pictures of Vince when he was like 20 with hair and no shirt on, and he's like a rock star. And yeah, he's Vince, bad gas at Mimi's. If you know, you know. Again, if you have questions, throw them up here. I'm getting down to the end of mine, but what is your favorite racetrack?
I mean, Bandamere was definitely the one. I mean, I don't know if I can still count that one or not.
You sure can.
But yeah,
you sure can.
I love that track. Love how it was set up, and
just cutting the side of a mountain, downhill staging lanes, uphill shutdown.
Yeah.
Racing at that track was a privilege, an absolute privilege.
Yeah.
There'll be nothing like it ever again. If they do another track, it may have Bandamere in the name, but it ain't gonna be that.
Right.
And they know that. Like, John Bandamere may be watching this along with Raul. How freaking cool is that? Raul was on my. But he'll tell you the same thing. Like, there's nothing that's ever gonna be that ever again. It was awesome. I'm happy I got to call that my home track. I'm happy that you got to make passes there.
Oh yeah.
I'm happy you got to bring your family there and see it. Like Stevie called it, it's a big boy track. And it was 5 minutes from my house. And
nice. It was
But one
nice.
of the nice things, it's mythical shit, Jesse. It's mythical shit, says John Force.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's just, I mean, they carve a racetrack out of the side of the mountain. They give it downhill staging lanes. They get an uphill shutdown area. Yeah, it was everything. Big fan of Banamere. I appreciate you picking it. Of running racetracks,
Running
what would you say?
racetracks. Uh,
You can say the
hmm.
Motorplex. It's okay.
I mean, it's big, but I don't know as if it's my favorite track. Um, I think Thunder Valley is cool, and
Totally.
actually, the track in Monroe was surprisingly nice. I
I
thought it was
love
pretty
that
cool. Yeah,
racetrack. Dude, Twin City Raceway.
yeah,
Um, that track was so cool. And that track owner, I mean, no, I kid you not, he brought diapers to the tower. He's like,
yeah.
if
I heard.
any
Yeah,
of you cats are gonna have problems with your car, I will give you a diaper for your
yeah,
car. Like you can have it. I wish you had it. Big fan, real big fan of Twin City Raceway. They
yep,
were awesome. They were excited to have us. The people that came out to watch in the middle of the day with like the tailgates along the side of the racetrack
yeah,
is that's cool. That's cool. Little town
yeah.
drag race stuff, and it was fun.
It was fun.
That was awesome.
I thought it was
That was
the
awesome.
whole facility was nice. You know, they had a like a play
Oh,
area
that
for
was that
kids.
state capitol? That was state capitol.
And the state
No, it
capitol was
was.
Baton Rouge.
Yep. No, it was Twin City. You're.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Twin
Yeah.
City.
Yeah. Yeah. That.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was super awesome. Super awesome. The orange track, the orange Twin City Raceway on the starting line. All the
yeah,
pictures look really good. Um, that was a fun little track.
yeah. It was cool.
Yeah,
It was
it was
nice.
awesome. And you kind of grew up around there
Sort of. I
ish.
never actually lived in Monroe, but I lived about 30 or 40 minutes from there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's my neck of the woods. I lived in Baton Rouge too, probably
Okay,
about 10 miles from the track we were at.
okay. Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'm on my last question. This is great. So if you got any more in there, pop them in. My last one for you. Actually, I got two.
Okay.
The last one always ends up being relatively short. But what advice do you have for a newbie? And that could be a newbie into drag and drive. That could be a newbie into getting into Toyota hot rodding. That could be a newbie getting into whatever, man. Like paintless dent removal. Um, what advice do you have?
Um, just get something and do it. You know, just get a car. It doesn't have to be quick. Just get out and experience it.
Are you
And
getting wooed to bed?
nah, I don't know what she wants. But yeah, um, don't make excuses. Don't put it off. You know, time flies. You know, you got to get out and get started and just give it a shot.
Frank Romano says all the time, how many summers do you think you have left? Like,
Yeah,
15, 18, 20, where you could actually do this stuff? Like,
yep,
don't let two or three of those go by. Because then you're only going to have 15, maybe. And you don't, again, time's the only thing that you're spending that you don't know how much is in your bank account. Like, you're just spending it.
and then
And
once you
for
do
me,
it, you're gonna be like,
I wish I'd
"Well,
have
didn't I do
done
this?"
all I wish I'd have done all that cool shit back when I could have
Yeah,
done all that cool shit. So no,
yeah,
dude, that's a thing. And the bathrooms at Twin City,
air
I heard
conditioning.
that I heard that the ladies' bathroom was air conditioned. I don't know if
Yeah,
the men's was.
it
It's
was.
awesome. It's awesome. Hell yeah. And my last take is, what do you got going for your rides? Any updates coming? And when are we going to see you next?
Uh, Definitely Mega Week. Looking forward to that. That's gonna be
It's going to
fun.
be insane. Absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. As far as the cars, nothing really for for the Thundercloud, maybe some new tires and an oil change.
Right.
About all she needs. Um, the IS, it needs a little bit of stuff. I'd kind of like to turn it up a little bit more. I'd like to see around 600 to the tire.
Okay.
Just a nice even number,
Well, you may as well. And I mean, the goal is 1150. So if it goes 11, whatever, 70, you said 60.
It went 1183,
Okay.
something like that.
So 1183 at 540.
Yeah.
I mean, 60 more. I dig it. I
Yeah.
dig it.
And that just involves like,
And that should be as easy as
stuff.
just and add a little bit of boost, right? Like really, I mean, it should be pretty much there.
Yeah, my intercooler is limiting it right now. It's kind of undersized, so it's not cooling. Intake air temperatures get a little high on it.
Yep.
Any more horsepower, any more boost. So I've already upgraded the fuel system. I put 1300 cc injectors in it
Nice.
earlier this year. So it just needs a better intercooler and, a little more on the up button.
A little more stank.
Yep.
Nice. Well, if Crystal's watching, intercoolers are super cheap. They're like $150. It's no big deal. So expect one of those to show up on the doorstep. But my last question, if you got one more to throw up in the comments, do it to it. But what is your snack of choice on the road?
Ooh, snack of choice. Jeez.
Like you go to a gas station and you're like, I'm making a beeline to.
I don't know. I usually get like peanuts or cashews or something, or
Okay.
pistachios, something like that.
Nuts.
Not too
You're a nuts kind of guy.
Yeah. Or Twizzlers, sometimes it's Twizzlers.
Okay.
Try not to do too much sugary stuff.
I get it.
Mexican sweet corn Cheetos, yes.
Yeah, those are excellent. You guys actually introduced us to those. For me, it's Taco Supreme, Biggs flavor or Biggs brand seeds.
Seeds, yeah, those are good too.
Yeah, I'm a taco. It's got to be Taco Supreme, but yeah. Well, you're from Texas, you don't know. But dude, thank you so much for joining. This has been an absolute blast. It goes by quick. It's not even that bad. Like we got a little buzz. We got some stuff out. It was fun. And dude, I appreciate you coming on and partying with me.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Questions that aren't popping up right.
No.
What?
Crystal said we had Facebook questions that were popping up.
Oh yeah. For some reason, I think I've only got YouTube at some points. The last hour, it looks like I got nothing but YouTube. So,
Stuart asked what my favorite white 1970 Camaro was.
Oh, that was definitely the Camaro that I had. That was a nice white small block car. Yeah, not like a big block out of Clifton, Texas or anything. Those are junk. No good. Yeah. Let's see here. What else is it? Let me look on there. Are there any more that we should cover?
Oh, Shane thinks I need to put nitrous on my car.
Yeah, everyone needs nitrous on their car. I agree. It couldn't hurt. Yeah, whatever. It's all good. It's all good in the hood.
Want to make a week.
So, but dude, that said, Shane Werner wants to know when you're going to switch to a BMW.
Oh, i6. I mean, I may do a BMW transmission one of these days, but probably not a motor.
Yep. Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Shane can hang on to the BMW.
Yeah.
Sort of. We had two at Race Week.
Yeah.
One was BMW powered. One was Jay-Z powered.
Yeah.
But they were both cool. They were fun. I think they both made the week. So
the the guy with the big wing on the back of it in the 13.0 class, I think he finished 4th.
Yeah, totally. And that one was 2J powered, right?
No, that was
That was the
the
BMW powered.
Yeah, it's like the little 1 Series. The white one, I don't know what class he was running, but he was one with the 2J and like a sequential shifter or something. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Big Walt is talking about alligator poop.
Yeah.
Yeah, something in Florida. They're getting ready for a hurricane, so the alligators are trying to make their way into the houses, and they're pooping on the ground. And he's got to get his vacuum out to suck the alligator poop out of his house. They're just trying to get away from the hurricane. I don't know.
Wow.
You know who doesn't have hurricanes ever? South Dakota. Never once had a hurricane. That said, dude, I'm out of here. Eric.
All right.
And they got on like carpet. That's true. They just got wall-to-wall carpeting, including the bathroom. He pees all over the carpet in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, big Walt, man. He's up against it. It's the white legs and the leather jacket that does it for him. But inside jokes happening like crazy over here.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, I'll tell you about it at some point.
Okay.
On a race week. But that said, dude, thank you so much for joining me. This has been fun. Again, the plan of this is just to kind of look at the history of all these folks that we get to spend like 5 minutes with, and I get to spend an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes with, dudes stacking all this hardware on their wall, and we get to learn a little more about you. And dude, I had a blast. This was cool. Can't wait to see you soon. And my best to your peeps, and that includes Mr. Stuart Clifton, who signed my shirt and forgot about it, and has my second favorite white Camaro, second gen. So, yeah, man. But hopefully we'll see you out. Which car will you have at Mega Week?
I don't know yet.
IS. Bring the IS.
Yeah. Okay. If I still have it, I'll bring it.
That's the right. If you still have it, are you going to sell it?
Possibly. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'll give you $3,500 for it.
Nah.
That should be about right.
Probably pass on that.
All right. Well, again, thanks so much for showing up. I'm going to throw you in the background. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. I will pull you back in after the show's over, and we will do it as well. But
all right.
Thank you, dude. This was fun.
Thank you.
Hell yes. What do you guys think, dude? That was awesome. Eric Carroll was on. Crystal was sitting in the background screaming obscenities at him, and at some point probably flashing him. So good for him. That was super cool. But dude, that was awesome. Eric, again, just finished runner-up in the 13.0 class. Another great episode. We had a lot of people involved in the chat bleachers up there, getting involved and learning a little bit more about Eric's stuff and what he's got going on. I hope to see that 2J Silver Baboon back out. That car is super cool. Stick shift ride, 11-second 6-cylinder 3-liter stick shift ride. Dude, I'm in. I'm for that all day long. Let's go. I like the Thundercloud too. That thing's quick in its own right, but like you can go buy one of those and it does that. But he built that IS, and that to me means a little bit more. That's just me. I'm that guy. But that said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Jason, again, out there. Gonna have you on at some point. Danny, I will definitely get some rest. I got a long day tomorrow. I am out on Thursday, flying out to Bowling Green, Kentucky. Again, I will be on the microphone at the NMRA World Finals. That's coming up this weekend. Next weekend, I'm at FL2K. I'll be doing a bunch of pin interviews and a bunch of cool stuff on that. That'll be on Freedom Plus. But that's where you'll see me coming up very soon. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. That's Cool Drink, episode 54. We are done. Appreciate you guys so much. Talk to you soon.